common trap on the spiritual path is thinking about things in the way you were sort of taught them in the past, in the way you were taught them by different types of conditioning. In the very human way, we have been taught some of these things, okay? So I feel like for a lot of people, the biggest misunderstanding about the love and light is that they think, first of all, that light always means positive. They think love always means something that's by default a relational experience. It tends to have these very romantic connotations. It tends to have this a very like fluffy connotation, and we tend to like reflect it through human connections and human relationships to one another, and we don't really think of it as a universal force. Some of us do think of light as a universal force, and in my opinion it is a part of it, but the source is infinite. The source is freaking infinite, and because we as souls are a part of source, deep down we are source. We are experiencing our part of the source in this now moment, and there is one little bit that separates from us, the source, but it's not the separation as we think it is. The separation is an illusion, and it's the oneness, it's the oneness with the infinity that describes what the source is. I know that probably might not make any sense to some of you. I'm allowing that to be a transmission that some of you will understand, some of you won't, and it's okay. I feel like the common misunderstanding of love and light is we might forget self-love, we might forget life as a divine force, as a force of connection, but it's a completely different connection than the human attachment, right? Because the human attachment is not love, nor is any other attachment really. And so when we feel love in a divine way, it's gonna be different than when we feel love in an attachment way, or when we feel like having a crush on somebody, or when we like somebody, as just a human. Love goes so much deeper than that. You know, there are words such as acceptance that come to mind. I feel like that's one of those ways, like acceptance and support and those type of words that come to my mind when I think of love, but I feel like it goes even deeper. The universal love is something so much different. It's the life-giving force. But there is also an aspect of the light that some of us have forgotten, right? Like, we forget that when you shed some light on a dirty fucking corner, you might not feel that good that this dirty corner of your cupboard is now shed with light, and that everything is out there to be seen. That has happened a lot the last couple of years for a lot of people. A lot of our dirty corners have been flushed with light and cleaned up. And that process isn't always the most comfortable. And that's something that we have to understand about the function of the light. And truth is also a big part of light, because it shows that. It shows what's there. But light is also absence of density. It's the absence of density. Because it's the absence of density, it is not the opposite. It's not the opposite to the shadow. It is not. Sure, in the physical realm it creates shadow, but that is because there is density in front of it. So technically, yes, shadow is also an illusion, and that's a hard pill for many to swallow. Had this realization when I was writing this text. When was I making that? The 1st of August. The density is an illusion. Therefore, so is physical, so is shadow. We have to understand that we are so much more than that. We are so much more than the human experience. Maybe that's why the starseed topic resonates with me so much. Because I know I'm just so much more than this body. Why am I feeling so emotional? I don't know. Maybe there is some self-realization that is happening in this moment as well. It's not just me, it's you too. It's so much more than what we some of us get told that we are, just based on our bodies, based on how we look, based on who we grew up with, where we grew up. We get told all kinds of freaking weird stuff. And we have to understand that positivity is a polarity. Sure, there is this topic of polarizing positive, right? Where the sort of lessons don't happen through hardships anymore. I need to explore that more, right? And I feel like I'm already like getting there, kind of, to some extent, with some of my experiences. And that's something that I just need to explore, but I want to put it out there. Those of you who are ready for that information will receive it. And that's kind of the new era. We're not gonna need hardships as our challenges in the new earth that much. And it's gonna be really hard for some people, because I know a lot of people have lived in this belief that you need hardships in order to change. And I'm not gonna lie, for some people, yeah, it might be more important, but it doesn't mean that everyone's gonna share that experience, because that's not how the new earth works. The new earth works by understanding where your consciousness is and how your consciousness is adjusting to this shift. And why this happens is because light is the absence of density. And when we release all of that old density, all of these old skins that we have had, we become lighter. That is one key here. Absence of density, becoming lighter, releasing old baggage. I feel like it can be very easy to just hold on to that baggage. And for me personally, that's why I do find a lot of benefit in something like therapy, like a very normal human psychotherapy, because I can just unload my baggage and release it and just never look back. It doesn't have to be a part of my experience like it has been, like it was, and allow just all of my energy bodies to harmonize and get filled right back up with the divine life force, divinitizing my energy field once more. The text I wrote is very poetic, so I'm gonna just taking little pieces of it and making it more conversational, because this is a YouTube video. Love and light are not holding on to the old crumbling world. They may kind of be there compassionately, just hanging out, kind of like. We might kind of, show some of that compassion for the beings that are affected by it, but we're like lovingly letting it go. That's how I would describe it. And we're not like dwelling in the crumbling old world. We're not like hanging on to it and worshipping it like some beings are. I'm not judging them. We're moving on, we're moving forward, we're forward thinking, we're seeing the infinite potentials of the earth in the ascending era, allowing the new creation to unfold. There's a lot of allowance, but it's not the type of allowance that the old polarized way shows it. It's not enabling. Yeah, it's like just unfolding. That's how I describe it. It's almost like you're just opening your, I don't even know. But it's like opening. Yeah, it's opening. The speed of light, momentum, the speed of light is very fast. And here, in density, that speed sometimes slows down. And I'm not saying this as sort of like as a polarity that like chilling and taking it slow, living a slow life, that would not be light of light and love and divinity, right? Because there is a lot of divinity in that. But that's because you're present, right? That's more about presence and stillness and peace, not necessarily slowing down the momentum, unless that releases the goal. And when I think about the speed of light, that kind of describes a lot of what we kind of think of as a high vibration or high frequency, when we think about just how we're sometimes kind of like just buzzing with the light, And now we're going to just like, and when the sort of energy spikes come down, which I have experienced many times, solar flares and the Schumann resonance and that type of stuff. Wow. Just a lot of high vibration. And I know that sometimes I myself also start to go like really fast, and then I forget that my body needs to adjust to that. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, because it's not about going fast for the sake of it, because that can actually be stressful. The stress is not really that good for your DNA. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that, because like our DNA needs room to expand. So therefore, if it's just your nervous system that's speeding up and not your vibration, right? If it's just speeding up for the sake of itself, if it's just your mind speeding up, mind, let's talk about that. Yeah, I need to talk about that on another video. Very important topic. We're just having like the lower levels speeding up, but it's not really about that coming from the higher levels. There is a disconnection. That's when work has to be done in order to balance that out, right? That's when it's not necessarily about the speed of light anymore. It's about the speed of the human ego. I know, like there's a lot that I could go into, but I'm gonna have to go and do my laundry. And to end this video, I'm going to read a little paragraph. It's almost like a little poem that I wrote in this blog post. And I'm gonna read it to you now. To fully comprehend, light is the absence of density. Distortion is the inversion of life force. Is the false light. Love is the caring cultivation of true light. Darkness is void of the light, while the void remains absent of density. Void will pull into its gravitation. Light will only need to shine as it is. But just remember that the shadow is not the same thing as the darkness. It's not about like opposites, it's about a different way of being in the universe. But yeah, the shadow is an illusion of the physical realm. I think that's, might be a shocker for some people to really comprehend, but I hope this video has enlightened you. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and give this video a thumbs up so that it can reach more people. And feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, because I think it would be interesting to have more of a discussion about this in the comments. So thank you for listening, and I will see you later.